know that shit's got to hurt, right? If you're a cow, you burn something into I don't know. I don't know where branding came from or why it's still used, if it's even still used. I don't know anything about cows. I know that because once I cut a cow out with a CNC machine thinking it was a bull because they had horns, it turned out to be a cow. It did not have the proper equipment to be a bull. And plenty of people in Texas were mad at me about that. This is the Listen to This Bull Show, the show where you can ask us questions live. We'll answer them, and we talk about bullshit in the insurance world. You can ask us any question you want. My name is Matt Mulholland, and today we're going to discuss the Pitch Pro movement, something that I'm a part of, and I've got 3 of the 4 other mentors from the Pitch Pro movement in the wings waiting to be let on. And I think this will be an interesting show because there's going to be so many of us, and I'm not so sure that I've had this many people on the show all at once before. As usual, you can, in the comments, write us a question, and we will do our best to answer that question. I don't care what the question is. You can ask me what size shoe I wear. I'll answer that. I'll wonder why you're so creepy and weird about it, but I'll answer it, and then we'll move on. So I'm going to put this banner up that says, bring us your questions. And Conrad's on. Adam's already talking in the comments because he can't wait to talk. So I'm going to go ahead and pull Adam on. This is Adam Bentzman, the roof strategist himself. Hey, Adam.
What's cooking, Matt?
I'm not cooking anything. I am drinking, though. Are you drinking anything?
No, I stopped drinking 4 years ago, but that's less fun. So I'm staying hydrated today.
That'll work.
But sorry, it was less exciting than normal. But I'm really pumped to be here, and I know Conrad's good people. And I've been itching to get on this podcast. I haven't been good enough yet. And I have some things in store for you, by the way, soon. So we'll get there.
Well, that'll be fun. So if you want to, real quick, before I pull everybody else on, explain what your whole concept of this Pitch Pro movement was, and that'll give a good baseline for everyone that's watching the show today.
Yeah, awesome. Well, first, I just want to say this is not going to be an hour-long commercial. We're here to help. Obviously, we're all mentors in the Pitch Pro movement, and I want to explain hold on. Just for anyone that doesn't know, do you have a tramp stamp? So, Conrad, I don't. What I do have is a very large scar from here to here because I had a massive, I'm all spine there. I had a massive spinal fusion and spinal surgery, which is a story for another day. Actually, just found a picture. I was in a bad place, man. I had to learn to walk again. I was in a wheelchair flat out. It was bad stuff. But no, so no tramp stamp, but I joked about getting a zipper tattoo because like half my spine is a scar. So
that actually be a pretty cool tattoo.
It would be. Back on topic. So the Pitch Pro movement, what is it? I want to just kind of lay some groundwork and a foundation first before I share what it is and kind of how it all works. I had been asked for years from people who were following my stuff, hey, how do we keep working with you? And I never really had an answer because my one-on-one stuff wasn't sustainable to serve lots of people and the rates are not in reach of everybody. So I had a client of mine that called me one day, and normally I wouldn't curse, but I'm on your podcast, so I can do what I want. So he calls me up.
Whatever the fuck you want.
He says to me, Adam, this stuff freaking works, but he used the more colorful language. And I was like, yo, what are you talking about? And his name was Nico. And he's like, dude, we're on track.
Stringfellow?
What was that?
Nico Stringfellow?
No, not Nico Stringfellow. He's in the Pitch Pro movement. You'll meet Nico on this next
call. Okay.
So Nico calls me and he goes, dude, we've tripled in size since following your program. We're on pace for 20 million in our 3rd year. And I want, and then it's always followed with, and then I want more help here. And when I realized that sales and business is an infinite game, the game that we don't like reach a certain level and then lay off. And I want you to think of it like the NFL. Like when you get to become an NFL athlete, it doesn't mean that you stop practicing or training. You're not like, well, I'm good enough. I'm just going to show up at work and play my games. You practice harder, you practice more often, you practice specific plays, and you have a coaching staff that helps you continually level up every single time you practice. And the Pitch Pro movement was that place that originally started with just me. And I very quickly realized that I needed mentors like you and the folks we're going to introduce today to fill the sweet spots of what I've identified as like the core silos of your more everyday needs in business to turn to for ongoing support, constant training, Q&A, dedicated coaching staff, private discussion board, and a leadership roundtable mastermind for owners and managers. So that's the Pitch Pro movement in concept, and why we're all here collaborating on supporting people leveling up in what I call the infinite game of sales and business.
Can you reduce all that to 2 sentences?
Yeah. You're never at your peak unless you keep practicing. Join us in the movement to raise the bar and raise it higher and keep raising it some more in all the key areas of your business.
That was 2 sentences. Perfect.
Cool. Maybe it was 3. But
I felt like you were going to end at 1, and then you realized you had a whole nother sentence to go, and then you just kept building upon it.
There were hyphens between them.
All right, cool. I also do not have a tramp stamp, Conrad, and I don't have anything fun to talk about when it comes to my spine. I do have an ass crack. This is Jim Ali. Jim, you are a marketer.
I am one of those evil marketers.
Yeah, well, that's why you look like you're coming out of the pit of hell right now with your red room.
It's kind of where we live. That's where us marketers live.
Yeah. So Jim is also another mentor in the program, and he's working on the. I assume you're doing the marketing side of things for contractors, for roofers.
Yep. So I'm here to in the Pitch Pro movement to essentially be people's chief marketing officer, marketing strategist that they can bounce ideas off of, help them set up all their figure out the right ways to market their business, what's the right thing at the right time in their business, all of that type of fun stuff.
Well, that's cool. I got one more guy pulling on right now. Deshaun.
What up?
Yeah.
What's up?
How y'all doing?
I like getting my voice real deep and scratchy when I talk to you. I don't know why.
No, I can't help it. Yeah, I mean, that's my natural voice. But
I wish my voice did that. Yeah. Nice.
It's an honor and pleasure to be here, baby. As always.
So you're part of the mentorship program as well for the Pitch Pro movement, and you're teaching sales strategies.
Yes, sir. Yep. So if the way Adam broke it down, right, like an NFL team and everybody got different coaches and they all coach their specific position. So if we had to label Adam as the head coach, I'll be more along the lines of something like an offensive coordinator, right? So we're going to come in and we're going to teach people how to operate with principles and take their game to that next level and help them get their mind right so they can get their grind right, man, because I've learned that everybody know what to do, but then they get in their head mentally and they get in their own way. So we're going to keep people mentally strong so they can power through the year at the highest levels, baby, and deal with all the bull that come with this insurance industry.
There is quite a bit of bull in this insurance industry, isn't there?
You like how I did that, right? You like how I did that? Yeah,
I did. I would have appreciated if you actually said bullshit personally, but
with all the bullshit that come with this insurance.
Yeah, you did it. Yeah. Some people they don't like the cursing for some reason.
It don't bother me. I curse in my spare time, so
Yeah. Every time I'm on the toilet, that's when I'm cursing the most. Get the fuck out of me.
I probably curse the most knocking doors, believe it or not.
In front of customers or
nah, just in those spaces from door to door.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
I curse in front of customers. I didn't used to. I used to be terrified of doing that, but now when I talk to homeowners and I say, "Listen, your insurance company, what they're doing right now, it's bullshit." You'd be surprised how that brings them down, and they realize that you're being real with them. It's kind of powerful in a way.
It really is, man. Because I think a vast majority of people are uncomfortable to curse in front of other people. So once you open the door, they're like, "Oh, this is what we doing?"
Yeah,
they just all let it fly. Yeah,
that method, right? Yeah, no, it's great. I like doing that. It's like talking about profit with a homeowner. We're going to make like $3,000 on this job, which is just enough in order for us to stay in business over the next couple of years, whatever it might be. You start talking numbers with them, and people really start to. So you salespeople could probably tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't do that part of stuff. But I can tell you, whenever I've talked about and discussed actual profit margins with people, they've tended to trust me a little bit more. And when I've opened up and I haven't been afraid to be unprofessional with them, they've trusted me a little more. Maybe that's a thing that's special for people with beards, though.
I gotta say, Matt, this is what's fun about the Pitch Pro movement, because I could not disagree any stronger. And no, I mean this with everything I say. Like, so we were, by the way, for everyone tuning in, before I get into this disagreement is powerful. There's more than one way to do things in business. Not everyone is going to jive with that approach. And there's so many different ways to do things. And that's what's beautiful about a collective staff. By the way, I recommend that everybody here assemble your own dream team of the leaders and mentors in your life. Before I had personal support, it was Brian Tracy. He was like my homie, and I read everything, and that was like my turn to. And now Jim Aline, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a conversation that I had with Jim about doing this. Deshaun came up to me, and I'm like, Deshaun's my competitor. I don't want to talk to him. And then he's like, yeah, what up, dude? And then at RoofCon, he's like, we should do some things together. And I was like, maybe that'd be cool. And then more people were like, yo, you guys should do things together. And I realized Deshaun and I have opposite approaches to the same thing that is 100% complementary. Matt, you and I are very different, yet your strength is my number one weakness in business. And the reason I pushed back on that disagreement is this is the one thing that I've been a little, I guess I can say this here. I've been a little frustrated with the roofing world of people sharing these things. It's just it can be a lot of like excessive praise, I guess. Everyone wants to be nice, which, by the way, respectful by all means. I don't think there's any reason to not be. But my point is that diversity in viewpoint and perspective is super important. And if you're in a circle of a bunch of people that agree, you're going to make yourself really stupid, because you don't know what you don't know. And when I talked with Jim last night, we were on late. I was like, your biggest opportunities are what you don't know. And
Adam says, if you're going to agree with everything that's said, you're going to make yourself real stupid. And immediately agrees with what he's saying.
I agree.
What does that mean?
I agree.
My point is with everything. And lately, we just filmed new videos today. And I even said in there, like, don't listen to everything. Like, there's more than one way to do it. So I wanted to say, back on target, to like draw out healthy conversation around topics. You said you bring up profit. If one of my sales guys did that, I would probably shoot him. And I would say, don't ever do that again. Yet I know that with the right customer, you can get away with it, but I would never do it. And again, it worked for you. So who am I to say, Matt, stop doing that? So key lesson for today, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And number 2, disagreements are healthy. So
see, that's interesting, right? Because I'm in agreement with Matt, because the 3 reasons I feel like homeowners buy is honesty, transparency, and authenticity. Mm-hmm. And I believe when a homeowner telling me that they don't want to pay their deductible, and I say, if I was to eat your deductible, there's going to be no profit in this job. Like, we don't make no money as a company by me taking your $2,500 deductible and, eating that. Like, I don't get no commission. Like, we literally break even on this job. I've had homeowners look at me and say, well, dang, man, I don't want to take no money out of your pocket. We'll figure it out. And I done seen people come up with $2,500 when they told me they didn't have it once I explained that transparency. But you said something interesting, right? Adam, you was like, everybody nice in the industry. And, and I'm a firm believer that people don't follow niceness, people follow boldness. And when you bold enough to talk about profit, when you bold enough to say certain things to people, they give you a different level of respect. Yeah. And they follow suit. So I agree, though. Certain salesmen shouldn't be talking about profit, but I think when you at a certain level of sales and got a certain level of expertise and professionalism, you could talk about certain things that other people can't get away with.
Yeah, I'll take it a step further. When I'm around customers of mine, I will tease them as if we're old friends, and pick on them a little bit. And believe it or not, I gotta tell you, they become so loyal because no one does that, especially the older generations. People want to feel like they have a rapport with you that's already well established. Maybe it's just my personality that's making this work. I don't know, but I do a lot of that kind of stuff.
That's the part you can't teach, though.
That's true.
That's the part you can't teach, because people go door to door with me and they say, man, I can't do that. And I say, I'm not trying to teach you to do that. I'm teaching you to embody the principles and the strategies and the tactics. My personality, the stuff that Deshaun say, the stuff that I get away with, like a lot of people can't get away with. Like I was knocking doors in Iowa, right? So we knocking the door. Dude opened the door, 2 dogs run out, right? 2 dogs run out, I don't move. They run around me, run back in the house. Homeowner look at me, I look at him, I say, see, the stereotype ain't true. All black people ain't scared of dogs. And the dude was like, what? No, I didn't think that. And we sold the deal, got up on the roof and closed it. But everybody don't got the courage to say something like that at a door with somebody. So I agree with you, man. Like, it's certain personality things you can't teach, you know?
No, everybody's got to be themselves.
Deshaun, your humor, man. Like I gotta put a plug. Like we were on the phone talking about getting this whole thing started, and I remember you were out knocking doors, and here's Deshaun. He's like, "Hey, hold on, dude. I'm knocking the door. 1 sec. If you hear me, 1 sec. I'll just be right back." He's like, hang the phone down. You knock. I would hear the whole pitch, and there was a woman who was a insurance agent.
Yeah,
and she just jumped down your throat, and I was like, man, he is getting his teeth kicked in. And then right away you're like, wait a minute, did you not know about the act of God law? And she was like, wait, what? And you're like, yeah, your rates can't go up if it was a claim from an act of God. And all of a sudden the dynamic changed. She's like, oh, thank you so much, I've needed a new roof, come back. And it was like within 3 minutes, appointment set. And when you mentioned being bold and personality, like we all need to do things a little differently. We all get to play with our own flair. And I love when you did that, man. I was cracking up because I'm sitting here like, dude, let's go. Get back on the damn phone. And you're off making sales. I'm like, you really just turned an insurance agent right there in just like a minute and a half. It's great.
Can I jump in on something with that real quick? Just so our audience doesn't get misinformation or anything, but that act of law or act of God law is only in specific states. That is not a national thing. I believe it's Texas really where that is established. What state are you working in, Deshaun?
I'm in Florida. Don't that work in Florida?
I don't know actually, but I know it's in Texas. But it's a state law, so it may be also in Florida. It's definitely not in Georgia. There are many states where that is not the law. So, and I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving legal advice, but you should probably talk to an attorney before you tell people that kind of thing.
That is very true. I'm glad you said that. But we ride out with that 50 states wide. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, Deshaun, I did too. This is the reason you need people who know what they're doing in their sweet spot. Mm-hmm. And yeah, anyway, I want to go back to the profit thing real quick, because before people go doing that will either work for you when you start talking profit to someone, or it's going to totally backfire. And I've watched this backfire. The P word in no other business gets talked about, the profit. And when I hear, hey, it's $2,500 profit, if it's a small roof, I would think to myself, I'm paying you $2,500 to GC this thing out. That's too much. Like, I'm paying you $5,000. That's your profit. Like, profit to the average person is a dirty word. People don't need to hear about it. They don't need to know margins. That has nothing with it. I don't think in my personal sales, I never talk about me. Profit is what I benefit from, and I want to stay focused on the value to the homeowner and why we need to do things above board within the guidelines of how the process works and how the money flows. I make it 100%.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
And every time my wife says profit, I get goosebumps. That must be why, because it's a dirty word.
It is a dirty word.
That makes sense.
Profit. So that's just my philosophy.
What if they ask you, what's the what kind of profit do you guys make? Right? I guess then it's different, right? Because they're looking for that answer.
Here's a good way to respond to that. How much do you weigh?
You want to get
it's kind of a personal question. You know, we operate in a way that allows us to stay in business and serve our customers to the highest degree possible. And it's just not something that we share with folks, largely because it doesn't quite matter what we make. What matters is doing the right job within the guidelines of what we're to do, following up on our word, and warranting this project for as long as we're in business.
My wife heard that comment.
Do that mean oh yeah, or just mean oi?
Oi, oi.
Boy,
One of the best sounds in the world for me is this. I love making her make that sound. I live for that. Do you guys do that with your spouses?
She said, "Oh, I like it." But I think his name Josh Mc. I couldn't think of his last name. It came up and I forgot about it. But he said, "Don't be Deshaun, be you," and that's so powerful because I teach guys all the time. Listen, you gonna close more deals. You gonna make more money when you learn to be the person that you are when you with your friends and family. Joshua McNish. You're gonna make more money when you learn to be yourself. And I mean like the person, that's why I love about Matt. Like Matt is the same person on these podcasts who he is with his family, who he is in front of his homeowners. He's the same person all the time. And when you learn to be that person, when you're knocking doors, when you're selling people, your money is gonna go through the roof. Because I'm telling you from experience, my first year in the industry, I thought I had to be like Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? I was like, oh, if I'm this guy, I'm gonna make a lot of money.
You know, dance.
You know what I mean? Like I used to change up like, hey, how you doing today? My name is Deshaun. I'm with Southern Pro Restoration. Like I used to switch it all up. And I used to be like, why I'm not selling a lot of deals? And then the day I went out there and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. And people come to the door and I'm like, what's up, boss man? How you doing today, man? My name is Deshaun. I started closing more deals, and I learned as when you start to be your authentic self, like you're the same person you are 90% of your life, when you be that person, when you're knocking doors and selling, you're gonna make way more money out there.
It's a lot less frustrating and a lot less work too.
Yeah, man, it's too much work to be somebody you're not.
It really is. You have to remember who you are with those people.
It's a Russell Westbrook commercial, and he said it's enough of them out there. Just be you. And I love that commercial because it's enough of other people out there. It's enough of, Adam Bentzmans and Matthew Mahalahan's, Jim Moline, and, the Grant Cardones and all these other people. Like, it's too many of them out there. We need more of you out here. And as we get more yous out here, it's going to change the industry.
So, yeah. Jim, from a marketing standpoint, is there a way to be authentic in marketing?
That's a good question.
That's a really good question.
It's all about your authenticity. So all of the brand exposure that you get, being authentic to your brand, real pictures on your websites and on your marketing materials, real pictures of your team, right? Like that's authentic. Pulling out the cell phone, the most underutilized tool in the roofing business, right here.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, I'll make it like 98.63% of the time, I'm sure.
98.63.
0.63% of the time. People should be using their phone to make a video, but they're not.
That's a good perspective, Jim, because so the first, let's say 4.5, 5 years when I was building Roof Hustlers, I would be out there knocking doors and I would get an epiphany. And then I would whip out the phone and I'd be like, hustlers, hustlers, hustlers. And I would go on and do my thing. But since I don't knock doors as much because I'm coaching and training, what I do is I jot down all those ideas and then I go sit down with my cameraman and we film those videos like mini commercials now. Mm-hmm. And when I did them with my phone, they got way more traction than when I do them now filming them with my cameraman, which is interesting.
It's the authenticity of it. It's the rawness of just pulling out that phone and having a conversation into it versus full production. It's just different. It
Even the production side. I used to try to get a perfect shot whenever I was doing something. I want to say the right thing. So I would take like 30 takes just to get something that's 2 minutes long out because I wanted it to sound perfect. But I get better traction on anything that I say if I stumble across my words a little bit. And of course, my editors want to jump on that and make that part of the thing, which I'm okay with because I think it's funny.
Leave it.
I'm okay. So no, they jump on it and they highlight it. They highlight the error
Mm.
because they want to make fun of me, and I'm okay with that because I think it's funny too. But
in the real pitches, right? Because Matt, I remember
make it authentic. Yeah,
I remember your breakout session at RoofCon, and you showed those fake roofers on the roof with a damn pencil. And it's like all those little things. I'm like, I ain't never been on the roof with a pencil, man. Like, you know. So real pitches is so crucial, like Jim just said. You know, jumping up there with your real team.
The guy with the yellow hard hat, shiny white teeth, button-up shirt, holding a hammer does not sell roofs. Does not sell roofing projects. People understand that's fake, man.
I like that. I like that, Jim. That's a really good point. I hope nobody didn't let that go over their head. Real pitches, which means take that big ass $2 million roof off your website that you didn't do. Like, as soon as you log on, there's a big $2 million roof right there on the top of the website. No, put that 40 square that you did with so much pride. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
world's greatest roofer.
People want to relate.
Is he?
I didn't see him. You know, since this is like a roundtable happy hour, I want to. Can I just like jump in with something? Is that permissible?
Yeah. Let's go. I feel like this Matt show. There's no structure at all.
We got nothing. Hey guys, before we started today's show, Adam's like, so is there like a game plan for this? It's like, yeah, the topic is pitch pro movement. All right, but we got like 5 minutes. Let's plan this out. I'm like, dude, do you have a beer? That's the game plan. Let's see what happens. Anyway, keep going, Adam.
So on that note, what I will say is in our pitch pro movement calls, we have a plan. Just as a disclaimer. No, what I wanted to do is just spend a minute and thank you guys for making this happen. And for everyone here, like Jim, how this whole thing started, I started this whole pitch pro movement thing with my people. And I quickly realized that it was more than me that was needed. And there were people asking claims questions. There were people asking digital marketing questions. There were people asking a lot. I mean, it's got to be like the hottest topic in door knocking, mindset and motivation. And I was like, you know, my sweet spot is training in the strategies and in the tactics side. Of course, I touch on mindset, but not to the level of depth that Deshaun does. And we had people reaching out that were our mutual clients, Deshaun and I, that were literally using both of our stuff. And I was even talking with Deshaun's company that he's working with about marrying these two concepts. And I get on with Jim and start sharing this idea of what I'm doing. And he's like, dude, let me show you some things that are going on in other industries. And he shares this mastermind. We get off that call, Jim, was it even 24 hours later that I like reached back out? And I was like, I ran home to my wife, Sheena, who's on our team. And I'm like, babe, we got to talk. I think we need to bring in other people. And it's like a vulnerable thing to open up your business. You know what?
Look at Matt. You're ridiculous.
I didn't even realize that thing there. I'm going to try that from a different angle. You know, this is like where the editor sees it like, edit undo. Oh. He said it. You get the innuendo.
Was Sheena open to it? Or
she, not surprisingly, was resistant because of the sanctity of the protection of the business that we have built together. And it's, you know, anytime you hit your wagon, so to speak, see, I threw that one in on purpose. It's a vulnerable thing. And I knew that people had these questions. So then I reached out to Jim and Deshaun and I talked about a few different collaboration opportunities. And I just want to go through each one of you guys as like why you're here. Jim and I met. I've played in the digital marketing world for a while. I was in the direct sales space. I know marketers. I know the lie through your teeth marketers, and I know the marketers that say, I'm good at this, and I did this for this other industry in real estate, and now I can do it in roofing. And they flop because the landscape that we compete in on the digital side, from pay-per-click bidding, which most people don't realize it's a bid process, to crafting the right offers, to integrating all the arms of your SEO, your landing page offers, your conversion optimization, your call tracking, budget optimization, all of that, like people are like, oh, I got my SEO dude here and my paper lead guy here. And they're trying to like run these silos. And Jim has just been an absolute powerhouse for many of my clients before doing this. And by the way, he is working with quite a number of the Pitch Pro movement clients as well, marrying those together into a cohesive plan as an advisor. And I just wanted to share that, Jim, that I really admire and appreciate that you do that, and you're able to help answer questions with a whole heart of like, where should I spend my budget? Because the answer for this company is very different than this company, depending on the market, retail, storm, size of your company, budget, how long you've been in business, what your local presence already is. And too many people are just like, hey, you should just spend your money on Facebook ads or Google ads or hire me for telemarketing. And it's like, maybe not. So anyway, Jim, thank you for just taking care of people and being so willing to help, man. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for that call that we had together.
Jim's one of those guys that doesn't speak very often, but when he speaks, profound words come out and they make you think. A man of small words, not small words, a man of few words. That's the right word. Man of few words, but those few words are usually pretty powerful. It's kind of interesting because the first time that I spoke with you, it was in a group session similar to this, and you were real quiet. I was like, is this guy ever going to talk? Who is this guy? I don't. And then you said some stuff. I was like, oh shit, no, you're right. God damn it.
Got to listen first.
In a personal setting, Jim talks a lot. Me and Jim done have some really good conversations.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anytime, I think first time me and Jim connected on a deep level was at RoofCon 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we was at the bar just chilling, me and the team, and me and Jim just have some really good conversations just about everything that's going on around us. And he's silent, but he pay attention, which is the cool part.
Yeah.
James Dex says he likes it.
Say less, no more. Amen, baby.
Right.
Jim is very stoic. He's very stoic.
Absolutely.
Observant.
About being quiet.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, who's next, Adam? Keep going.
I wanted to do you next. I was just going to throw in always in you. I know you got me in this one. I'm only going to do it when you're taking a
You okay with that?
So John Cenac, who's not here, is the other mentor. By the way, if you
Mr. Hollywood,
he's always too busy and important to be at our meetup.
That's his new name, Hollywood. He like Ric Flair. That's what I'm gonna start calling him, Ric Flair. The Willie, the Dylan, seminar putting on, shingle naming, roof claiming.
You could write a rap for him. And John Fielding, we'll get to your question in a minute. So John Cenac, who's not here, I connected with him through a mutual client, and I'm very protective of my time. So when people reach out, they're like, hey, you should connect with this person and jump on a call. Like, I don't do a lot of get to know you calls. Like, time's too tight. I said, hey, we'll do it. I connected with John. We hit it off. I was like, wow, I did not expect that. Many mutual clients were like, you got to connect with John. You got to connect with John. And we connected. And through that, Matt, you working with John, we ended up, again, also meeting at RoofCon. And you started to ask me some pretty personal questions about my business.
Did I?
I remember it was like on my marketing strategy. Yeah, you did. And one of those questions, it was funny. You said, how much do you spend on marketing or on on ads? We were sitting at a table at the VIP after party. And I am just really, I'm a private person with my business matters. And there was just this instant trust with you. And by the way, I'm very jaded on the industry. I am like super jaded. I'm a very cautious person, period. And instantly I was like, I don't know if this guy is like totally full of it or if I really trust him, but I do. And then later on, Conrad was in here. Thank you, Conrad. I remember I was sitting down in the hotel with Conrad or it was before or after. And he just he goes, hey, how well do you know Matt? I'm like, only recently. And he just said nothing but praise about you. And then I started hearing about National Claims Institute and the feedback that people were getting from going through that program and the level of detail that they learned comparative to other things that they may have tried in the past. And the overwhelming amount of feedback and the authenticity and the connection and the true desire for you to help and do the right thing was just absolutely apparent from day one. And with how many people need help on the claim front, navigating policy language, there's no one better suited to join the team than you. And I remember, I wonder if I have it. There's a picture of me, you, and John Cenac from RoofCon's VIP party. I have a million photos in here. I don't know if I'm going to find it. Do you have it on your phone? We were standing next to each other, and it was actually marking a different initiative that we talked about that evolved into this. And it was just awesome to have that moment together and signify it in a goofy picture, because here it is. I found it. There's us, VIP dinner. You got it? There's the tall one, if you can't tell. But there's us sitting there, and that marked the kind of the kickoff.
It's a Matt sandwich.
All this coming together. As we
I look like the cream in the middle with that white shirt.
Yeah, there it is.
That's like the white Oreos. You know, the Oreos with the vanilla on the outside and the white in the middle.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't had an Oreo.
You ain't never seen them Oreos?
No.
The blonde Oreos?
Blonde Oreos?
Okay. Yeah. Are you talking? Okay.
I got some. I can show you.
Because they're white guys.
Yes, because they're white.
Oh.
The blonde Oreos, yeah.
Anyway, all right.
And you the cream in the middle.
Yeah.
So hit John Cenac already. Hollywood's gone. He's tied up. He's got some prior commitments. We put this together a bit last minute. Deshaun, dude, I can't even tell you how excited I am to like develop the friendship that we've developed. I call Deshaun all the time now and shoot the breeze about all things not even work related. And you know, when I first met Deshaun, I was like, man, you're shorter too than I expected on camera because you have such a big personality. I remember it was one of the first things I said to you. And you were super warm. We were on the panel together at RoofCon. It was the first time we got to meet. I'd heard all about you. One of our mutual clients, who's also a Pitch Pro Movement member now, he said, hey, I want both of you guys out at your annual kickoff. And anyway, we started connecting, and you gave me such great like personal advice and feedback because I'm working on my mindset this year. It's one of my initiatives. You helped inspire me to be bolder in what I'm doing and in getting sorry. I know John Cenac's here and this is controversial, but to win the Creator of the Year award, you know, you pushed me to be more vocal, and I'm really not. And the feedback that everyone gives around how much you hype them up and motivate them and help them break through their own internal obstacles, I validated through our own discussions, and I always leave our calls really stoked. And this is my last journal. I think I filled up, but the last page was from the first kickoff that you ran in the Pitch Pro Movement. Anyway, it's in one of these journals. I got too many of these things I've been filling up, but it was at the end of one of these, and I was like, man, I got some like rock solid stuff from Deshaun's presentation that's going to help me out. So I'm super excited to kind of come together and share a vision for supporting people and knowing where our sweet spots are and how to marry those sweet spots together. And I just want to say thank you for the friendship and everything, man. So I'm glad to have you here as well.
All day. And just to tap into that story, it's pretty funny because at RoofCon, right? First of all, Adam was like ripping and running. So I get like maybe 2-3 minutes. And I'm like, hey, man, we should do a free webinar. And he was like, hey, I think we should do a paid webinar. I'm like, that's even better. Let's do a paid webinar, right? You know, I'm like, hey, we give them enough free stuff anyways. You know, let's charge them to be here. And it goes from that to, it's like, hey, exactly, baby. Like my boy T.I. he say 5'9" with the soul of a 6'4" person, right? So, you know, height don't mean nothing, you know, it's what the soul is. But it's like, I'm like, let's do the paid webinar. It's like, let's do this and do that. And then it go from that to like, I got an idea that's going to feature a couple other people. And I met Matt Mahalahan at RoofCon 2020. And for everybody who don't know, if you never heard this, just remember I was the first one to tell you this. He looked like the daddy off the Wild Thornberries, right? So I just want to be very clear so y'all can hear that. He looked like the dad off the Wild Thornberries. And when I first met him, I was like, bro, you look just like the daddy off the Wild Thornberries. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And I remember I gave him a Roof Hustler shirt at RoofCon 2020. And me and Jim did the podcast. And so I knew all of these guys. The only guy I didn't know was John Cenac. And I connected with him at RoofCon 2021. And so it's like it's cheesy, but it's like a match made in heaven, man. So it's pretty dope. I'm excited. And I'm a student first, teacher second. So it's nice to be able to learn from Matt, be able to learn from Jim, be able to learn from Adam, and take my game to that next level. And then not only that, we help everybody else take their game to that next level. Because one thing I like about Matt is he's so transparent. He's like, I'm not really a salesperson. He's like, so I can really learn a lot from y'all when it comes to sales. And we like, oh no, we're gonna teach you a lot when it comes to sales, right? But then we can learn the principles. Hey.
Is that who you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. But for everybody who tuning in, tell me he don't remind you of him, right? Tell me that don't look like Matthew Mulholland. Y'all would never ever picture him the same no more. Y'all would never picture him the same.
I'm gonna start wearing taller socks.
Oh man! So if you're not a part of the Pitch Pro movement, you need to be a part of it because you thought you did something in 2021. If you're a part of this movement, what you about to do in 2022 is gonna be like 10 times that amount to get. Like honestly, our team is like 11 times, 12 times, right? Like
more than 10.
We almost like Jackson State coaching staff, right? Don't get me wrong, they did lose their bowl game, but to have Deion Sanders as their head coach, they got Hugh, the Bengals of the old head coach as their offensive coordinator. Like it's just crazy. You got John Cenac, man. You're finna take your game to a whole nother level. If you thought $1 million was a lot in sales, now you're gonna be laughing when you do that in like 6 months.
Yeah. Every time I looked back at previous work that I've done, I've always thought, man, I really sucked at what I was doing. Yeah. That's what you're going to be thinking about for 2021. That was a shitty year. That's what you're going to think.
Yeah.
It's funny. Man, if you're not, and we're going to hit John Fielding's question. So I did a video recently on my journaling practice, and I keep these dated and archived. Looking back, I actually just did this with my team, John on my team, not John Cenac. John on my team this morning, looking back over the last year, and it's crazy flipping through these things and being like, wow, I remember when that was a mountain I was trying to climb. And now I look back and like, I'm looking down at that like it was nothing, and I'm trying to tackle mountains twice as high. And for anyone who's not already doing this, journal, keep these things. Great book suggestion, The Gap and the Gain by Dr. Benjamin James Hardy. It was written for Dave Sullivan. To measure yourself backwards, it's really good for your brain. All right.
How do you measure yourself? It's like reverse engineering yourself? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
It's about, so here's the concept of the book. We often measure ourselves from where we are now to our ideal of where we want to be. We do this in sales. Anyone who's in sales, it's never good enough. I'm just curious. Everyone who's in this room right now, have you ever felt like no matter what you do, it's never enough? I'm guilty of it. I do it to this day. If you are, I know there's a delay on the StreamYard thing.
Sometimes when I sit down on the toilet, I feel like there's never enough toilet paper. Is that the kind of thing you're talking about?
You need a bidet. You need a bidet. Period. If that problem persists. So Andrew said yes. This whole concept of where we are to where our ideal is, we're measuring what he calls the gap, which is this empty space. It's why social media is always we're looking at the watches, the cars, the vacations. We're measuring this ideal. And what Dr. Benjamin Hardy says is to look backwards and look at where you were. So to reflect back, what did I accomplish today? What did I accomplish last week? Where was I when I got started? Because ultimately, this is all you need to do is say, hey, the only person I'm competing with is myself. And what I did reminds you of the level of success you have. So I love going through these. So, all right, back to John. Will Pitch Pro correlate with estimating and supplementing so the field reps not only know how to inspect, but also prep homeowners on our estimates and adjust their objections? John.
I'll let you answer that because I got something. Mr. John, I teach that heavy when I go train companies, which is how to expose that transparency when it comes to our estimates when we're dealing with homeowners. Because I've seen reps not explain the exact estimate, and then the homeowner sees it and they say, "Oh, you're trying to take advantage of my insurance company. Oh my gosh." So now I teach guys how to explain that on the front end. And I've literally explained it so well to my homeowners. Say, get everything you can out of them. I hope you get everything you need. So we do teach how to explain that. We're gonna be teaching how to explain that in the Pitch Pro movement. Yes, sir.
Yeah, awesome. And John,
I
on
think
that,
this particular question hits so many of us. It's going to be a sales aspect. There's a marketing aspect to this. There's definitely a claims aspect, but even John Cenac, when it comes to some of the supplementing items and explaining why some of that is needed when you're talking about discontinued materials or any shingle related item, I think that this particular question would hit all 5 of us. Mm-hmm. And it could be addressed in 5 different ways as a result, and you could take a lot away from asking this one single question and having all 5 of us really discuss and talk about it. That might be actually a good idea to try that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That would be a fun one. And John, to piggyback on that, I want to just kind of explain the differences between, because I also want to make sure there's crystal clear expectations of what the Pitch Pro movement is and what it's not. What it's not is a straight up training program. What it is an interactive community to continually grow. Yes, we each run trainings, but what these questions are, like, for example, you have a question, we have 2 discussion boards, one for owners only called the Leadership Roundtable. Managers are included in there. And the separate one is our general Pitch Pro movement discussion board. So you can ask questions in there and get feedback. Matt is actually running a training right after this, an hour after we wrap up here, which is a Q&A session. So we've polled the group, what questions are you dealing with? We had multiple members make comments. A member even filmed a video. Matt, make sure you watch that beforehand. Filmed a video of him on a roof with questions that Matt's going to be able to answer. And if Matt doesn't, he's going to pay Bobby. No, I'm just joking about that part. So my point, John, is like the Pitch Pro movement is a fluid movement driven by the community to flow with what you need when you need it. And I hope that answers to round it out. Yes, all of us will have our own worldview on that topic. And at the same time, it's not like, here, put your team through this training. This is NFL level. You guys are already in a really good spot looking to level up in these key areas. So I hope that answers it. And if it doesn't, please let me know. Drop a comment. We'll happily answer it. If anyone else has anything on this, by all means, roll with it.
I love how Adam, no matter what he gets involved in, he totally takes control.
Every time.
If someone were to jump on this show right now and wonder whose show is this? Oh, it's totally Adam's show. This is Adam's show for sure.
He the head coach.
All day long. And I'm perfectly happy to let you go with it because, to be honest, I probably had a few too many today. I haven't eaten any.
I'm going to shut up now. My wife can tell me the same thing sometimes. So
yeah.
My lips are sealed. I'm going to put a link to, by the way, if anyone does have questions, there's a link to Matt's page.
You done made him feel self-conscious now, man. Why you did that, man?
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, I ain't gonna lie though. Real talk, like Adam, you made this so easy for all of us, bro. Like the amount of weight that you carry on your end with this thing for us, what we just gotta go do and show up and do is almost not fair. Like Adam can tell you, last week I was like ready to jump in and do a training. He was like, "No, you don't got to training this week." I'm like, "Oh, my bad. I was ready to go. All I know I got to do is show up to the video calls, right?" So you do a great job, man. I appreciate that big time.
I think you might have to put a space between those 2 links there.
I fixed it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you posted the wrong link. Post the one with my name. No, I'm just playing. Hey, Matt told me I can cut loose on this podcast, so I don't got to be super professional.
They put 2 T's in that when it says /Matt with 2 T's. Does it go straight to Adam's name?
Man,
people have to know how to spell my name for mine.
Yeah, that's there. I'm going to shut up now.
Amen. Hey, another term for ABC, Chris, right, is adversity builds character. Like everybody say ABC, they say always be closing. I say ABC, adversity builds character. So the days that you have tough days, the day when life sucks, the day when you get beat up by homeowners, that's when you get a little bit better. So ABC, baby, adversity builds character.
So that would suggest that people that have a really shitty life are the best people ever.
If they get the lessons out of what life given them, yes. But a lot of people like to play victims.
Okay. All right. I'll buy that.
Yeah.
I'll buy that. 100%. It only says 100, but I'm assuming he meant percent to go along with
Nah, he just meant 100. He just meant 100. 100. That's all he meant right there. 100. No 100%, just 100.
100. Hey, Jim, give us some kind of out of nowhere information that's very, very. My God, I've had a lot to do.
Give us some information that
I got to get on. I'm going to have to eat something.
I mean, along that same lines, it's adversity. It's like the day that you hate going to the gym, right? That you just make yourself go. A lot of times, those are your best days, right? And so you have to put yourself in front of that adversity at times to get the result out of it. And that's where I think a lot of people miss the boat a lot of times is they'll try to avoid the adversity.
What does this mean, Deshaun?
That mean keep it a buck, man. Keep it 100. Shout out my boy Sean Hicks. I feel you, baby. Keep it a buck, baby.
All right. So if you are overcoming something in order to do something you don't want to do, is it the act of overcoming that leads to the personal growth? Or is it the result of what it is that you're doing that leads to the personal growth?
Wow, that's a good one.
Especially for a drunk guy. I mean, I'm impressed with myself right now.
That was an impressive question. That was deep, and I don't know.
Come on, Jim, give us something.
Man,
you got nothing.
I think the act of overcoming the inertia of not wanting to go is 10 times more admirable and more vital than actually the results of going. Like just saying, hey, getting up and getting to the gym is 10 times more, accomplishing than actually getting to the gym and doing a great workout.
Yeah.
The fact that you overcame, your bitch voice, the fact that you overcame that voice to get up and go is way more vital than getting to the gym and putting in that workout.
That you walked up to the door and knocked. That
100%.
You pulled out your phone and made a video.
When you're moving an object that's at rest, there is a lot of friction that keeps it from moving, and you have to push harder to get it to start moving than you have to push once it starts. And the inertia is there. Once you get it moving, it's easier to keep it going. I don't know if that's what the making your bed theory is, but if you can get yourself to overcome a small obstacle, it's probably easier to keep overcoming obstacles throughout that day.
Yeah.
Amen.
The making your bed theory is when you start your day, you make the bed. It's a gesture of kind of getting things going for the day.
First win of the day.
I
make my bed every day.
That's the first win. What about the first pee of the day? I tell you, that's the best pee of the whole day.
Honestly, it is either that or the end of the night drunk pee. One of the two.
Those are good too.
Do you ever get that chill? It just goes.
That's the best. When you like, that's the best one right there.
I love that.
It remind me of 40-year-old version. You remember when he get the girl and they walking out the club, and she take the last shot, and then she go, let's go home. And then she
do you play through that scene whenever you get that chill when you're peeing?
Man, that is a funny scene. That's the best scene in 40-year-old version. And she's like, get your hands off the wheel. You're not going to get in my pants acting like that. Matt gave me permission to cut loose, so this is the first podcast I could just kick back and chill a little bit. We still going to bring value, but yeah.
I hope there's other podcasts.
I don't know. Usually I'm sharper than attack, you know what I mean? So I got to just chill and be a little bit just laid back this time, so I like it.
When I get drunk and I pee, I don't put my
See,
hand
you
on
feel
the
my
wall.
boy
I put
Chris?
my
No.
head on the wall. I just lean forward and just
That's the
rest my
good one
head.
right there. That's a good one. Hand on the wall, just like.
Relax. Somehow my neck muscles hold me up during those moments.
I like it.
I'm so out of my element right now.
Adam ain't had a drink in 4 years. He like, the water don't do that to you. He like, the water don't do that.
These people. What
The water
did I
don't do
do?
that to you.
I brought
I
these
love
people into my
That's
house.
that's the
I know.
beauty of this Pitch Pro movement, right? You get all of this diversity, all of this authenticity, all of these different mindsets, these different perspectives, these different skill sets, these different experiences. And then on the days when we fresh, I mean, just ready to dominate the day and we focused on sales, we focused on helping you get better. Oh man, that
You
is
know
a
what that
whole
means,
different,
though?
whole different
Adam,
mindset.
that means that you're growing in character right
It
now in front of us.
You know, that's too funny. That's one thing, James. Think you're going to spoiler alert for tomorrow. Deshaun and I are running a annual kickoff goal planning session tomorrow for the Pitch Pro movement, which I'm super excited about. One of those things that I'm going to be touching on is the importance of doing things that make you uncomfortable all the time, which including vulnerable plug. Dimitri's been texting me from Roofing Insights. He actually just did a video because some dude stole my material and was selling it as his own. And it's been a bit of a thing. And we're trying to get to the bottom of this. And it was a little bold to kind of put to go do that. And it was uncomfortable.
Like,
but
did
anyway,
he steal the video or just the content
No,
of
The
it?
content,
this guy
baby.
bought my program, and what he did is he bought the program. He ended up fishing in Facebook groups, posting where my door knockers at, and everyone that would respond, he would DM them and spam them. He removed the copyright and my logo and would send a free sample and then say, hey, I got this package for sale. And the crazy thing is, literally copy pasted my website, like word for word. I have everything. I have an entire folder, by the way. People have sent me all these things on my website, copy pasted the thing and said, I have this 260 documents, and then was selling them. So he was reselling my stuff. I mean, word for word. He attempted to sell to my client. I approached him on it and he lied to me. And then later he said, oh, I was just with my kids. And then I'm like, we've gone back and forth. And frankly, he is making one claim, but every single thing he's done up until this point has been lying and deceitful, and it's criminal. I mean, this is intellectual property that you're labeling as your own. I mean, it's like me saying, hey, I wrote this book and I'm reselling this book that someone else wrote, and it's no secret. I've got numerous customers on with me now. Like, everything that I have is a copyright. So anyway, it's been a whole deal. My point, circling back, is about pushing yourself to do things that make you uncomfortable.
We can't stop there. We finally got to talk about some bullshit. It's minute
There we go.
57 into this 1 hour podcast about bullshit. We finally have some to talk about.
We've got some.
You didn't know that was a concept. I got a bunch of bullshit we can talk
Yeah,
about.
I bet you do.
I thought we had to add value, but okay, go Adam.
I don't know. I mean, it was really, I mean, man, it sucks. I give away a lot. My programs are really affordable. But the funny thing,
Let me ask you guys this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a program that is similar to the Pitch Pro movement that exists now? And if there isn't, of the programs that currently exist, why are they not up to snuff? Or in reality, what I'm asking is, why are they bullshit and Pitch Pro is needed?
I don't think there's none that exists, to be real with you, not in our industry, because I think everybody too scared, right? They terrified. They think somebody gonna run off with their stuff or do this or do that. And I think all five of us show a level of trust, vulnerability, and just allowing somebody else to tap into our intellectual property at a high level. And I don't think other people have that level of confidence and trust. So I don't think it's not done. We ain't seen it in the roofing industry, because if it was, we all would probably be a part of it learning.
Not in the roofing industry, but like, I am a member mentor in it's called the 7-Figure Agency, run by a guy named Josh Nelson, who runs a company called Plumbing and HVAC SEO. And it's for digital marketing agencies like ourselves. So I'm a member mentor over there, and that's where the framework comes from. But really, it takes a person like Josh, who is very open to sharing everything. And that's kind of the same personality that Adam has, and why this will work.
in waiting for, thank you for saying that, Jim. And yes, you inspired a lot of this, and we have adapted our framework to serve our industry at a very high level. And everything I've done, Matt, I mean, you and I have talked business and just kind of shared ways to help grow and understanding our market and providing value. And one thing that I've always done is when people zig, I zag. So the way everything, I don't have a competitor, a true competitor. By the way, I don't believe Deshaun does either. And I don't think Jim does. And Matt, I don't know if you do as a direct competitor.
Oh, I totally do.
You do? All right. Well, you have a competitor. I truly don't. I compete in a different atmosphere. And when I started the Pitch Pro movement, there's other masterminds out there. There's no doubt. How they're structured and facilitated does not provide the level of ongoing support through such a diverse skill set. They're like rotating leaders, from my understanding. The other key difference is that most other organizations are invested in the owner only, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. However, my fundamental belief that growth is from the bottom up, it's from the success of every individual rep in the field, and how we structured our memberships is designed. One, individual sales reps aren't even really allowed into the other types of programs that are out there on a mastermind level. But two, we're providing resources to the entire team. This isn't just something sexy to an owner. It's to provide a coaching staff using the NFL mentor to each individual person in the field in a much deeper, more hands-on, and ongoing way that just, quite frankly, hasn't been done. And I don't know if it ever will be. I mean, if it is, great, but I don't even see it as like this against that, but that's my own view. And I could be totally delusional.
I've seen a lot of attempts at making something like what Pitch Pro movement is, but nothing has been successful because at some point, all of those alpha personalities ended up wanting to be the star of the show. I haven't seen that out of anybody yet. So, and maybe it'll happen. Maybe Adam and I will have a fist fight at some point in the future. It's entirely possible. Luckily, we don't see each other very often. I don't know.
Hey, you know he used to do karate,
There might
right?
be some low blows if I go to blows with Adam, though.
He used to be karate. He used to do karate, bro. So be careful.
Who did?
You.
Oh, no, I didn't. I used to box and wrestle, but it's been a while, man.
Did you really? Wow.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I realized getting punched in the face a lot is not good for.
I think Chris is talking about you.
What's funny is I know he's not. Man. I got to give a shout out for Dimitri for the help on that front. I'm excited to see what that video was working with him.
Yeah, I even posted it on my Facebook about that, man. And that's the one thing that always bothered me about my content is somebody taking it and stealing it. But the thing about my content that I make sure that I'm very clear of is that I teach it on top of just giving it. So you can give it, but you can't teach it the way I teach it. So, I'm very specific about that.
I think it's really interesting. There are two different sales approaches that are part of this program. Adam is very different in the way that he approaches things than Deshaun is, but there's going to be personalities in this industry that are going to pick up what Adam's saying and be able to run with that a lot better. And there's going to be people that do the opposite and pick up what Deshaun's saying and do it his way. And it's going to work with their personality. So having multiple approaches is a really good thing. I can't imagine what it took for you as a person, Adam, to realize that it's okay to have someone with a completely different approach a part of a program that you're involved in, that you're running. It would be really weird for me to pick up somebody that I disagree with the approach on as a public adjuster and want them to do anything that I'm doing. That would be difficult for me to overcome personally. So what you've done there is huge. It's a collaborative step that I haven't seen mirrored in this industry yet. So kudos to you, sir. That takes a strong man, big man, really big.
Like I said, it's about getting uncomfortable. And I've had clients reach out to me and then reach out to Deshaun on the same day and hire Deshaun. Because of the style, like different. By the way, Deshaun and I offer very different things. If you need in-person training, call Deshaun. I do offer in-person training. Mine's very different, the way I package my things, which we can talk about. But I'm actually working with a client that I referred to Deshaun in, it doesn't matter where they are. Anyway, I'm working with them actively. And I was like, I sent an email intro, like go work together. But thanks for saying that, Matt. There's something really powerful about realizing that there's more than one way to do things, and that people are gonna resonate with different styles and different approaches. And at the end of the day, it's about helping people succeed. And if I can't give them the answer, the best I can do to provide value is to find the right people that will. And that's why we're all here together today.
And we actually got a mutual client that the funny part is like me and Adam disagree on this, which is funny to even say that out loud because we agree on a lot of stuff. But he believes in formulas. I believe in scripts. So it's like those two different things that, you know, he believes in the formula. He got a slap method, and I got an entire script that I teach to people. So it's the slap method, right? So it's pretty dope to be a part of the Pitch Pro movement, to where you're gonna have formulas and you're gonna have actual scripts. Because when I teach my scripts, I teach all the mindset, I teach the word tracks, I teach the psychology behind everything of why you need to use the script. And then Adam got the formula. So it's just such a rich group of
Strength in our industry is a collaboration of the different perspectives and experiences.
Amen. And you can't beat it, man. It's not many places you can go and get the information that we provide. And you got Matt that's always with the bullshit. You got Jim that's like so stoic but so powerful. You got Adam that's so like intentional and very strategic. You got me that's very authentic and all about mindset. And then you got John, Hollywood John, that he might show up, he might not show up, like you don't know. But he's still not.
You don't even know.
You got John that's gonna teach you like how to communicate at a very high level when it comes to your insurance processes. Like he say, from shingles to slopes, from slopes to systems, or something like that. I don't know. That's the thing that he teaches, and I love it. So the diversity and the information that we bring into you guys and we package, and it'll cost you more money to pay us individually than it would be to join the Pitch Pro movement.
That's the truth. Yeah.
Like you'll go broke trying to pay us individually.
Yeah.
You would. But if you're going to do that for one of us, it should be with me.
I agree.
I mean, why not? I need it. Clearly, I need a lot of beer product. I'm going to go ahead and try to wrap this up, guys. I appreciate you being on the show. This is the link to take a look and join the Pitch Pro movement. It's the best way that I've heard it described is a industry convention that never ends. And I think that's a really cool way to describe it. Because we just keep the conversation going on a lot of those things that we learn and pick up at those conventions. So it's a great program. And I've got a session at 8:00 tonight. So if you hurry up and sign up, you get to be part of that session. You got less than an hour. You better hurry.
And can I say one thing before you let this go?
Sure.
I want to let y'all know, one of the things that makes successful people very successful is they're very decisive. Indecisive people live their life in idle, and they live their life very average. And Dale Carnegie, when he picked Napoleon Hill to write the book Think and Grow Rich, he said, Napoleon Hill, are you the guy for this? And Napoleon Hill said, yes. And Dale Carnegie said, if it took you more than 60 seconds to ask that question, I knew you wasn't the guy for this job. And everybody read the book Think and Grow Rich. Why? Because it's a classic. But not only that, it's because Napoleon Hill was decisive in his decision making. And decision is, the word decision means to cut off any other options, to make the right decision to take your life to that next level. So if you want to be on this 8:00 call, if you want to figure out how to put anywhere between $700,000 to an extra $100,000 in your bank account, if you want to figure out how to take your roofing company from $5 million to $10 million, if you just want to figure out how to stay in a positive mindset and just take your game to that next level, you need to click the link now. Don't make a choice, make a decision.
That's the end of the show right there. Just cut it off. All right. Thanks, guys. I'm going to kick you off real quick and wrap the show up. Stay in the wings, though, so we can talk after. This is the Pitch Pro movement. It's something that I'm a part of as a mentor. There's been so many times when I've been asked to help somebody with some things, and this is one way that I can help people with the limited amount of time that I have. So I'm really proud to be a part of that, and my contributions really have a stem from the claims side and how claims work and policies and the way that things are driven. This was a very, I guess you could say it's a shameless plug episode. Sorry. Every now and then you have to actually earn some dollars. I need to make a profit, guys, or I'm going to go out of business. Adam just died a little bit on the inside because I said profit. I know he did. You can't see him doing it, but he's dying right now. So thanks again. Next Tuesday at 6 p.m. I've got a calendar that won't open, so I can't tell you who I have. Next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I look forward to seeing you guys. We've got the specialty roof inspection course going on next week. It's the first time we're running it at the National Claims Institute. If you haven't gotten tickets yet, there are still some available, believe it or not. It is still the first time we're running that class, so it's still 50% off. It is in Florida, though. You got to get your ass to Florida. But it's warm here. It's really warm. There's a beach and everything. Come to Florida, National Claims Institute. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.